Go.
Hey everybody, it is Travis Flaherty, and I am here with my good friends and business partners, Mr. Jay Lewandowski. Say hi, Jay.
Hi, Jay.
And I'm going to lift the computer up over my head here. We've got Mr. Krager Nation here in the back seat.
Hey guys, how are you?
And we have been out and about all over the South. We first started off a couple of days ago in Atlanta and had a fantastic meetup with over, I don't know, what do we have? Guys, like 45 people that were there at this, people sharing energy drinks and bringing people into the Durham, Raleigh area. And we had another fantastic meetup last night, Lisa, with another large group of people. And we've spent today, we've been at NC State. We went with the head coach of the tennis team for NC, North Carolina State. We then went and we brought in a pizza shop and got him now got products set up everywhere. And you can hear my voice is a little bit hoarse. We've been sharing the plan over and over and over again. And, just got through sharing the plan with another person that we met last night at a restaurant that we shared the energy drink with. And now this young gentleman is very excited about getting involved as well. So we are just out sharing the plan, having fun. I'm driving down the freeway right now, and I'm minutes away from getting on a plane to head home to Arizona. So the key is you got to just get out there, share the plan, have fun, share these energy drinks, guys. They work. So with that, I'm also really, hi Lisa.
Hey, darling.
How are you doing?
I'm doing awesome.
You gotta love technology. So I'm on my computer, which is tapped into my Wi-Fi hotspot. We're driving down the road, and I'm doing a Google Hangout.
You're bumping a little bit, but conceptually it's fabulous, and everybody gets to see the fun. And I love technology. You're a little bouncy, but it'll make for good video.
Well, you know what? We want to just say thank you. We're really excited about the training today. The main focus right now, Lisa, is we want to encourage everybody to start holding these meetups. And more than anything, we want to encourage people to get out and about and start using these energy drinks as a conversation piece. It is so simple and so easy to ask somebody, do you drink energy drinks? Do you or anybody you know drink energy drinks? And you always get a yes. And then we just ask them hey, listen, would you be willing to give us some honest feedback? If we gave you this drink, would you be willing to try it? Let us know what you think. And we actually go get ice and pour it over ice right then and there, and it engages in conversation. And I cannot tell you how many times we've done that over the last 3 days. And as a result of that, I don't know, we've probably got 15, 20 new people that are in process just by sharing this can with somebody else. So we're having a blast. We're having a lot of fun. Lisa, I'm going to kick it over to you, my dear.
Okay, and I know you're on the road to the airport, Travis, and if you feel like you guys need to go off the Hangout, don't worry, we got it, and you can watch it later and see how we all did, but we're going to have fun. And next week, I'm going to show people, because you're over there, we're going to learn how to use the Q&A app and make it even more interactive and all kinds of exciting things happening.
All right, guys, thank you. We're going to listen
Thanks,
all the way
Lisa.
up to the airport. Thank you.
Okay, guys. Well, hello, everybody, and it's thrilling to be here. I'm Lisa Grossman, and Curtis has been having eye surgeries and threw his back out, so today you get me. And what I want to talk today about is a lot of what Travis started out with. I want to talk about meetings, and I want to talk about the psychology and putting all the pieces together, because this is a business. It's the business of network marketing, and now you understand how to talk to people. You understand first and foremost how to help people get their money back and get into profit so they can get out and talk to people. You understand how to talk to people. Are you happy? Do you have a plan? Would you like to see one? May not be for you, although I'm sure you're going to love the products. You understand what Travis was talking about once you're in business. With Hot Market, when we teach people how to get their money back, which is just to get them acclimated to go start to build the networks with the people that are not their Hot Market, obviously it's Hot Market, it's family, you're helping get your money back, they buy a case. When you're going out and sharing the business with people, the product is a very big part of anybody's business decision. At least I would hope that it is. And at that point, as Travis says, you have a wonderful product to sample as part of an overall business evaluation. And it really does do a lot of work for you. And I want to talk about tools and meetings and the psychology of it so that you understand this today. You see, events and any kind of, there are all kinds of events, but events with live interaction, being out among the people, creates emotional response and breakthrough that all of the education and the information in the world can't accomplish. I love Hangouts because they're more connective than webinars and conference calls, and very often that's what we're looking for because it's all about community. And when you get started out, because you're painting a picture and we're putting together this core group of people, which you are, that are really now joined together to change the world, it's easy to connect people from all over the country. But as your business develops, that becomes a support mechanism and always available and wonderful, but is not a replacement for, but can greatly enhance local meetings and local get-togethers. See, one of the things I love about this is that you can build your business anywhere. And if I talk to somebody in Alaska and there's nothing for them to plug into up there, working through Hangouts, they can learn what they need to learn. But eventually, we have to remember that as much as it's about, for people to talk about making money, network marketing is not solely a financial opportunity. Network marketing is not solely about making money. Network marketing is about creating a network of consumers brought together with culture branding. And most people want to belong to something. Most people want to be connected. They want to feel better about themselves. And anything that we put in place in our environment that can educate them or give them more clarity or put them out among people where they can relate to them is going to enhance and grow your business long term and keep people on the product and plugged in because they're a part of it. You know, a saying you might want to write down, and it's really important one, that a lot of people don't understand because when they look at the business, people leave companies very easily for a variety of reasons. People don't leave families so very easily. And the very best companies create families where people can connect and relate. And live meetings are so important to that, where people can look eye to eye and connect, because I want you to understand what really the psychology of a meeting is. And then next week, when I have my board back, because Curtis has it, I will draw this out for you and give you a format to be able to go out and do it, because we're going to work on a PowerPoint, you know, to help with the meeting, with the presentation, so that you can make it more about you. But we've talked a lot about how to talk to people and what we want to find out about them and what we want them to focus on. And that's, we're going to be interested, not interest. Well, first and foremost, we're going to go to our hot market, our go-to people, our support mechanism when we're brand new, and we teach brand new people to do that and get the product out to the trial consumers, which gets them their money back, gets them a story, and will get them some consumers. And that's where we kind of have led with sort of the intention of getting a long-term consumer. But once we turn and we go into the warm market, even when we go out and we give the drinks, whatever it is, we're leading sort of with the big picture, everything, and the product's a big part of that, thinking that our long-term goal is to have everybody be at least a consumer, but we're going to share and talk about the business first and foremost. And when we do that, we get very interested in people rather than being interesting. We don't focus on becoming great compensation plan explainers or great company fact explainers, because we have tools and third parties more effective for that anyway. What we focus on is them. Are you happy? Do you have a plan? Would you like to see one? But the question is, when somebody says, yes, I'll look at the plan, and I want you to remember that 80% of the people that look at a plan are not supposed to join, and they won't. So for those of you that are involved, you're in the 20%, you're very special. Of course, the other 8 out of 10 are candidates for our products, which is why we build such great consumer networks. What are they looking at? And people only have 3 questions. The first question is it real? And the second question is, what's in it for me? And the third question is, can I do this? And I want you to think, the last question, the can I do this, assuming that the first 2 are there, that's the most important question, because that's always, always permeating people when they get involved. Always. And they may ask you this, and they may ask you that, and they may say it's all about this, that, and the other thing, but what it ultimately comes down to is their belief, because we can teach them everything they ever wanted to know about comp plan we're afraid to ask. We can make them product experts and quiz them on it. We can give them information. But in the end, a person's belief as to their own ability to do it, their belief in themselves, will dictate whether they are successful or not. So let's look at this in the order that it happens and why we have to do it a certain way. The first question, is it real? That's usually answered by factual information. The facts about the company. The company's been in business X. It's been, it's a startup that isn't. It's backed by this very successful company that's been in business for years. It's sold over $1 billion worth of product, created monster life-changing income for the top people in the company and wonderful incomes for everybody in between, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Those facts make somebody say, okay, yeah, it's real. Now, it's not important that you tell those facts. As a matter of fact, it's better if you don't. And why? Well, they're not going to change. The facts and the company story and the product story, they're the same for everybody, which means the company is going to have great tools, or somebody's going to have recorded a great tool that does that well. So you don't want to focus on that, because that's not your role. Your role isn't to be a talking tape recorder or to do something that can be automated better by somebody else. And when you point somebody to that information, it doesn't do anything for them emotionally, and people make decisions based on emotions. Those the facts support and justify whatever decision they make based on their feelings. That's what people use facts for. I want to do this, and it's okay because of this fact and this fact and this fact and this fact. Or for whatever reason, I don't want to do this, and that's the right decision because of this fact and this fact and this fact and this fact. So that's all very important, but not necessary to be done by you. And when you use a tool like a hangout or a video or a meeting or whatever it is to deliver that part of the information, people are saying, I can do that. I can get somebody on a three-way. I can point somebody to a web address. I can have somebody watch a video. I can, I can, whatever it is. So that's question number one. Question number two, which is going to take their emotions up a little bit, is what's in it for me? Well, obviously, the compensation plan. Now, you don't have to get into any great detail with the compensation plan, but as people see the compensation plan, they say, okay, it seems like it's real. And the money can be made. I see how people make money, and products are getting people results. I see that. So that's what's in it for me. And then the third question, of course, is can I do this? And how everything happens to get them all the information to make their decision, and what happens when they get to this point is dictated by how this happens. If everything was presented to them and you were merely a tour guide, a facilitator, etc., because with the factual information, they've seen that the mechanics of it they can do. But the stories are the most important thing. And the stories are what cannot be done by da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And the very best networkers ask questions. We talked about that. They anticipate the needs of who they're talking to, and they get those questions answered. So what we want to do is get people in front of as many stories as we can. So as we meet people, we get on all the hangouts, we get on everything. We start local meetings, we start get-togethers, because it brings forth more stories for everybody to listen to and be influenced in live, and to have to tell other people, because we become expert storytellers. So when we get people into local meetings, what I see happens a lot, and what you don't want to have happen, which takes the pressure off, is sometimes you'll have this great seminar speaker, or somebody thinks they don't want to start a meeting because they have to be a great seminar speaker. You want to involve everybody. Everybody gets together, and it is the group. It takes a village to have a long-term good meeting environment, and to have a long-term community locally and internationally, all the way up, that people want to be a part of, in the virtual world like we are now, and starting in the local world. Why? Because when there's a great seminar speaker who's incredible at the front of the room, let me tell you a couple things that happen. First of all, only one story is heard, because every speaker is going to tell their story. Secondly, if they're great, they'll do a very good job of establishing that it's real. They'll probably do a very excellent job at establishing that money can be made. But the better they are, imagine if you're brand new at a meeting, and the only person you see at the front of the room is so compelling, so talented, so good, you might buy because they've made a great case for how real it is and that money can be made. But immediately, do you start to think, well, do I have to do what he does? Well, I can't speak that way. I can't speak like her. And now you've got a person who's saying, I can't do that. And what do I need to do that to be successful? And I'm going to go get good at that, and I can't get at the front of the room. And that's what you don't want. When you have a meeting where you have a host who tells their story very quickly and brings up a speaker, and that speaker comes up, and you never give the person's name, you build them up, you introduce them, and they tell their story, and then they talk about the company facts, or they use the PowerPoint, and they talk about the product. PowerPoint is good, facts are the difference. That's the second story. And when they bring up the next person to talk, they might do company and industry. And if you got a really big meeting, maybe somebody else will do product, maybe they'll do product. And then they're going to bring up another person to go over the opportunity and comp plan. Every person that comes up there starts with my story. This is who I am. This is where I came from. This is what I used to do. This is what I believed to be true until I saw this, which made me realize that. And now let me share with you what's happened. And when that person's done, they're going to bring up 3, 4 people, or whether we're on a hangout, 4 people to do testimonials. And you don't want only the 6 people that are making a lot of money or have done this or that and the other thing. You want all kinds of success stories, because you never know what anybody's going to relate to. And then at the end, and the testimonials are purely and only to tell their story, because in the end, the most important thing for a person to be successful is, can I do this? Now, obviously, it has to be real, or the company won't work. Obviously, money has to be made, or nobody's, there has to be something in it for people, or they wouldn't do it. But you have many, many successful companies with people that ultimately don't achieve success themselves. And that comes down to question number 3. And the main way that people believe they can do it is when you use third party to expose the information, so they realize they don't have to be fantastic product detailers and compensation plan tellers and company presenters, and the amount of stories that you can get them to hear so that they can find someone or something that they can relate to. Somebody that's like, well, she says she seems like me, and she started kind of where I am, and look where she is today. And so you have to become a great listener, because very often I could be out with somebody, and as I'm talking to them, I want to tell them story after story after story after story. How does the compensation plan? I don't know about that, but let me tell you about this. Let me tell you about the single mom, Mary Smith, we'll call her. Mary Smith got involved. She wasn't looking to do very much, didn't think she could do anything, and she plugged into the team. She just liked the product. She went out and shared it with her family. She got 8 or 10 people using the product, and then she started talking to people, and she was very persistent. And in just 2 years, she went from here, and she's making $2,000, $3,000 a month part-time. Or let me tell you about this guy. He was like a big company executive, but as he got older, he got winnowed out. They wanted to bring younger blood in. He was forcibly retired at like 65, and has all this skill, all this talent, this great love of people, but where's he going to get a job? And he saw network marketing, and he thought, hey, no discrimination, maybe I can do this. And now he started a second career, and it's bringing him even more excitement, and more juice than his last career did, because he gets to be out among the people. And he told me that he never realized how much being able to interact with people was going to make him a difference in his life, and so on and such forth. Well, you have to be able to hear the stories and tell the stories and reference the stories, or build relationships with those people so you can get them on a 3-way, even if they're not in your upline, even if they're not in your downline, which sometimes is better because they have no vested interest, where they'll tell their story quickly to somebody else. Because if you get somebody in front of 4, 5, 6 stories, they think, oh my God, everybody's doing this and it works for all kinds of people. I should do it too. And none of that happens if you're not plugged into everything, and if you're not paying close attention. Because over time, you will get better at asking questions. You will get better at telling stories. And you will start to realize which story is going to have the biggest effect on this particular person. Whose story they need to hear. And the only way that you have all those stories at your disposal is if you're out among the people, collecting them, listening to them, collaborating with different people in different markets, working sideline, working together. And the fastest way, once you've got a good base going, to ignite it, is if there are 2 of you or 3 of you in a market, get together and start the community meeting where everybody's a part of it, everybody's necessary, everybody participates, everybody's being worked out from being a person in the audience who can't speak to maybe doing their testimonial live and in front of a group, maybe doing the product one week, maybe building up. When this happens, this jumps from town to town to town to town. People drive until suddenly they've got enough people that they want to start their own. And when you put that together with the hangouts and what Travis said today about getting out and just having people, when you're building the business, because you've already got your hot market story. Why? Because when you let somebody try the drink and they say, can you make any money with this? You say, I don't. You say, look, I'm brand new. I got involved. I bought 12 cases of product. It was gone before it showed up, and I had my money back. Now I've got all these great coaches, teachers, and mentors around me because it's really easy. And you just try the product. You're asking me, does this work? That's how simple it is. And let me show you what you do next. Go watch this, or let me have you plug into this, or go there. And it becomes a cycle of people loving being with each other and believing that they can have success. So if this is resonating with you, start to think about, if I had 100 people in my group who worked the business just like me, what would my group look like? What would my business be doing? Would it be growing and thriving? Am I at every single event that I can be to, whether it's virtual, or live? Even if I don't have guests that are watching, even if I think my team's okay, so that I can be there to support others, so I can be there, so I can be seen there, so I can set the culture of we care about each other and we get together, because this is a bright place to be that everybody should want to be a part of, so that I can learn all the stories. And if I'm doing all of that, am I helping to get a gathering going in my local market so that people that are local can have something on a weekly basis to plug into, so that every single day the people that need to belong and need to be reminded have something they can plug into, whether it's a training or it's a hangout or it's a virtual presentation, and that once a week people have somewhere they can show up where they will hear different stories, where they can see that over a period of time they're going to go from sitting in the seat to actually being a part of that presentation. When they see that, the business thrives, and you are looking not just to help people survive, but to thrive. So if this is making sense to you, what you need to be doing over the next week is making sure that you're on every single hangout, that you make a commitment with guests, if you can be. But even if you don't have them, that you're there, that you start listening with close ears and taking notes on whose stories resonate with you. And if you hear it, pick up a phone and call them and say, look, here's my number. Let me take yours. This is my story. If I can help you, if you want me to get on the phone and share my story with your prospects, I'll be happy to, if you'll do the same for me. Start reaching out and connecting. The very best successful people in the world are not afraid to ask for help. And they always go to wherever they can get it to do as much as they can do. Are you doing that? I want you to live the next 60 days doing everything you can do, if you're possibly able, within the system, and see what happens to your business, and what happens not just for you, in the way that you operate, and how much better you'll become, and how much more sensitive your listening skills will be, and how much better you'll get at telling stories, because as you tell them over and over and over again, it gets better. Watch the cumulative effect it has on the groups you're working with, because it's infectious. And one person doing something can achieve a result. A few people doing something together can achieve a better result. A small group of people doing the same thing together can change the world. So with that, because it's just me, there's really not a lot more to go over, because because Travis is off on his airplane flying back to Arizona so that he can provide more great content for you. Look at the amazing things they did, just going out and talking to people. Use everything in your toolbox, your hot market story, so make sure you do that, because there's nothing more important with a new person than getting them success and getting them a story back. Your product, because that'll open doors. Your story of what happened to you when you did that. Other people's stories. Going out and being interested in other people first and foremost, always remembering it's about them, it's about them, it's about them. Being engaging and funny, and never take the business seriously. Take other people seriously. Don't take yourself that seriously, and it gets simpler. Marry the process, divorce yourself from the result, make a commitment to do at least a minimum something every day and get it done, and teach others to do that. And above all things, remember and never forget that you are incredibly special. You are incredibly talented. You're putting in the time to collect on all that you've accomplished, and you deserve the very best. And we're here to help you get it and to help you get the life you deserve. And I want to thank everybody for showing up today. I know your time is valuable. For those of you that are watching on the replay, thanks for tuning in. You're demonstrating leadership every day by the way that you're operating. And love you all, and can't wait to see you on the next call, which will be next week at this time. Have a wonderful, wonderful Wednesday, or whatever day you're watching it on, if it's on live stream. Signing off, this is Lisa Grossman. Bye, guys.